Hey everybody, David here, and today I want to help those that might want to get into the DCEU. I realize now that the DCEU is completely over, as far as we know, there is a way to watch these movies in chronological order for anybody that wants to check out all of them. Maybe they haven't seen them ever, maybe they've only seen a handful of them, and maybe they want to go back now that it's completely over and check out the DCEU completely on how it was. And just like everything, there is a chronological order. Now, I also want to confirm that you don't need to watch things in chronological order. A good movie will stand on its own, that you don't need to go back and watch the originals. A great example of that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. For the longest time, when I was a little kid, I used to think that was the first and only Terminator movie. And then when Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines was coming out, that's when they started putting on the displays at the video stores, if anybody remembers those. They had Terminator 2 Judgment Day along with another Terminator, and I was like, wait, there was another Terminator movie? But when you think about it, as a kid, you don't think about the numbers, you just think, oh, Terminator. Oh, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, now that makes sense. So another great example is I had a cousin who always thought Batman Returns, the one with Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, she always thought that was the original Batman movie. And I'm like, there's one with the Joker, with Jack Nicholson. And even before that, there were other Batman movies. So, but for her, Batman Returns was the first one she ever saw, and just like any other good movie, it stands on its own really good. And I'm gonna tell you, out of those two Batman movies, Batman Returns, I think, has aged better, in my opinion, than the first Batman movie. So, with that being said, let's get right into it. The DCEU in chronological order. Here we go. Starting with number 1, we got Wonder Woman. The first Wonder Woman movie takes place in 1918 during World War I, so it makes sense to watch this one first. Next up is Wonder Woman 1984. I think the title says it all, right? Then we go into the present day where we see Man of Steel. Man of Steel is the first movie in the present day that really kicks off the DCEU. Then we get Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. This really expands the DCEU, where two heroes meet. Wonder Woman also returns in this one, so it's a very big movie in the DCEU. I would definitely recommend the director's cut, just in case you guys need a suggestion. There are two different versions of this. The director's cut is far more superior. I did like both versions, but a lot of people did not like the theatrical version. It's the director's cut version that a lot more people gravitate to. Next up, you got Suicide Squad. Not to get confused with another movie on this list. This Suicide Squad is just called Suicide Squad. It came out in 2016. It was directed by David Ayer. It stars Will Smith. Margot Robbie is in this one, and she's in the other one that's I'm going to talk about later on. But yes, how you know the difference? Suicide Squad is the first one, and it stars Will Smith as Deadshot. So there you go. Next up, we got Justice League, 2017's Justice League. Now, I know for a lot of hardcore fans who love what Zack Snyder did, this isn't the best version, but unfortunately, it is the version in continuity with these movies. I could say check out Zack Snyder's 4-hour cut anyways, because it is a superior version of the Justice League movie, but unfortunately, continuity-wise, it doesn't make promises. That would, well, actually, it kind of does if you watch the end credit scene. But point is, yeah, okay, this is the least superior version. So, moving on. Next up, we got Aquaman. Aquaman gets his own solo film after being seen in Justice League. So there you go. You then can move on into Shazam, the first Shazam movie starring Zachary Levi. Mark Strong plays the villain, Dr. Savannah. Really fun movie. Then you can go into Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn kind of gets her own movie. She shares it with a couple of other women. I actually think this movie's pretty good, but that's just me. I know it has more of a mixed results when it comes to critics and fans. Next up, this is the movie that I was referring to earlier, The Suicide Squad. This one has "the" in the title, where the other one does not. Margot Robbie returns, as well as a few other characters from the first Suicide Squad movie, but you don't really need to watch the first Suicide Squad movie to follow it. But if you want to watch all of them in order, this is where this Suicide Squad movie comes in. Peacemaker. Now, Peacemaker is the only thing on this list that's not a movie. It's a TV series. I believe it's like 8 or 10 episodes. It's really good. I really enjoy it. I think if you love the Suicide Squad movie, you're gonna enjoy Peacemaker. John Cena is great in it, and there are probably a few cameos in the final episode of season 1. So there you go. Season 2 is being said to be retconned into this new DC universe that James Gunn is going to be starting in 2025. So I guess you can easily retcon it if you ignore the cameos that show up at the end of season 1. We'll see what happens with that. Next up, you get to see Black Adam. And Black Adam is, it's alright. But look, it's supposed to be connected to Shazam, but we never get to see Shazam cross over with Black Adam. I mean, they both have a thunderbolt on their chest, which shows that they're connected somehow. And the wizard, well, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there might be a reference or two to Shazam. There's also an end credit scene, which really means nothing at this point. Some of the end credit scenes are pointless when you look at them now, but they're false promises that are never going to happen. But if you want to check them out, it's nothing wrong with checking them out, I guess. Next up, you got Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Then you can move into The Flash, which I wish I could say this was the last DCEU movie, because I actually enjoyed The Flash quite a bit, actually. I gave it an 8 out of 10. You know, the bad special effects did not bother me. I enjoyed the story, the emotional aspect of Barry Allen's journey in this movie. I can separate myself from what Ezra Miller has done as an actor. I know he's a terrible person, or he used to be. I know he's been getting help since before the release of the movie, but, you know, there were a lot of incidences leading up to this movie's premiere, and for some people, they can't get over that. For me, I was able to separate myself from the actor and the characters, so I was able to watch it just fine. Go a little bit light on this one, you know? Don't judge it too much on it. If you can, don't judge it too much from its special effects. To me, it's a really good story, and it's fun seeing the cameos and appearances of characters old characters, I mean, that have come back to the spotlight. Next up, you want to check out Blue Beetle. Now, I know James Gunn has said that Blue Beetle is going to be in continuity or is going to be part of his DCU, but I don't know how much of that was bull and how much of that was true. So right now, Blue Beetle is going to stick with the old DCEU, so until proven otherwise. Until then, Blue Beetle fits right here. And finally, the last movie on this list is Aquaman and the Last Kingdom. Blue Beetle was pretty good, but Aquaman and the Last Kingdom, meh. It's not a great way to end the DCEU. I could have been a little bit more happier with Blue Beetle because it was a nice, heartwarming little film. It's kind of a been there, done that when it comes to the superhero aspect. But for the most part, I thought the family aspect was definitely its strong point. And Aquaman just feels like a mess of a movie. And Aquaman is just, well, I'll leave it up to you to decide. With that being said, guys, there you go. That is the DCEU in chronological order. Hopefully, if you guys want to check these movies out, I would say, yeah, some of them are really good, and then some of them are really good. We'll just leave it at that. I don't want to criticize too much of the DCEU. You can go and check out my past reviews on some of the movies. Man of Steel, easily my personal favorite of the DCEU. I really like Batman v Superman. I love what Snyder did. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not one of those fans that like restore the Snyder Cut. I'm someone that like can easily let go and fine, let's move on to the next thing, because we do need a DC universe that makes all audiences happy, not just a certain fan base, because that's not how you make money with these movies. You need to entertain everyone, not just half of the fan base. So with that being said, let's hope James Gunn notices what he's doing. But for now, have fun and check out this DCEU. Until then, right? We have a year off, over a year off. Superman doesn't even come out. James Gunn's Superman doesn't even come out until July 2025. So it's gonna be a long wait. So until then, go and check out the DCEU that just ended. And until next time, everybody, I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for future videos. Until next time, take care.